Hi everyone, it's Kaylee and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the romance book trope that everybody loves to hate or just hates, but that I personally love, and that is the surprise pregnancy. First off, I'm going to start with some books that I read this year and at the end of last year that are personally some of my favorites. I wouldn't be a true Canadian small town romance girly if I didn't start out with Heartless by Elsie Silver. This one is not only a single dad nanny romance, but it also has a surprise pregnancy. Cade is one of the perfect book boyfriends. He is like the perfect dad. He is the perfect amount of grumpy to Willa's sunshine. This book was all around 5 stars. I loved it. And in a slight honorable mention in the same series is Reckless. Also in that same series, I don't necessarily count this one as a surprise pregnancy because to me, a surprise pregnancy almost means that they have to spend the book, a good chunk of the book, with the pregnancy. And in this one, the pregnancy happens after a one-night stand at the very beginning, and then there is a time jump until the baby is about 3 or 4 months old. So while there is a pregnancy and there is a surprise, I don't know if I would put it in that same surprise pregnancy category. Sorry if you can hear my dog, he's barking. But it was still an awesome book, and if you like pregnancy and kids in your romances, this is definitely one to check out. I gave it 4 stars. Another series with a well-known surprise pregnancy is The Goal by Elle Kennedy. This is in her off-campus series. Once again, the surprise pregnancy happens at the beginning of the book, and the entire book is about the 2 main characters dealing with the pregnancy and the outcomes and things like that. A lot of people don't like this book, but I actually thought that Tucker and Sabrina's story was really good. I thought the pregnancy was handled really well, and I give it 5 stars. Another honorable mention in the same series is The Legacy, and now this one is a novella set about the 4 couples from the off-campus series, and there is a surprise pregnancy in it. However, you don't get much past the announcement of the pregnancy from the female main character to the male main character. So that's why I don't necessarily count it as a surprise pregnancy, because it is only a slight novella and there is not really much with the pregnancy at all. The next one is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonam-Young. And if you haven't read this book is the epitome of what a surprise pregnancy is meant to be in a romance novel. It was handled perfectly. The characters were perfect. They didn't just immediately oh, we had a one-night stand, we made a baby, we're in love and have a relationship. It was a slow process. They got to know each other. This is how a surprise pregnancy is meant to be dealt with. So even if you hate the surprise pregnancy trope, I recommend giving this one a try. It will change your mind about surprise pregnancies. I gave it 5 stars. And the last one on the list of my favorite pregnancy tropes is Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake. And now this one is also surprise pregnancy from a one-night stand. And they do kind of jump into a relationship, but it's more than that. It's not as well done as what Out on a Limb was, but it's up there. I thought that it was really good. I thought it was really well written. I thought the characters were really good and their story arc was really good. I gave it 5 stars at the time that I read it, which was I think back in February. I don't know if I would give it a 5-star again after reading Out on a Limb and reading how good a surprise pregnancy could be. I don't remember this one being as good as that, but I did rate it 5 stars back when I read it, but I don't know if I would rate it that high now. Next up are some honorable mentions. These ones aren't necessarily my favorite in the surprise pregnancy, but they did have a surprise pregnancy in them, and I did somewhat enjoy the books. First one is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Now this one, I didn't love the way the surprise pregnancy was handled. In fact, I didn't really like it at all. I only gave this book 3 stars. I liked the characters and I liked them together, but I think the surprise pregnancy didn't happen at the right place in the book, if that makes sense. And so it didn't endear me to the couple in the story. So I only gave it 3 stars. Next up is called Gabriel's Redemption. Now this is book 3 in a series by Sylvain Reynard. This is it's a book, the first one is Gabriel's Inferno. I don't know if I would call it dark romance. Like, it's not dark romance in what you think. It's definitely not a fluffy rom-com. It sways more into like the dark academia side of romances. He is a professor and she is a graduate student. So she is like, she's not like 17, 18 years old. She's a graduate student in her mid-20s. And they actually knew each other previously because she is best friends with his sister, his adoptive sister. And so the story is fleshed out, their story is fleshed out over 4 books. There's Gabriel's Inferno, Gabriel's Rapture, Gabriel's Redemption, and Gabriel's Promise was a 4th book that was written at the end. The first 3 books were really good. This is the one that has the surprise pregnancy in it, but I think Gabriel's Inferno was the best one in the series. I don't know if Gabriel's Promise was needed. I think that this book wrapped up Gabriel and Julia's story good enough, but they are very well written. There is also they have also started a series on passion flicks where they did, I think, almost like 3 movies per book. So if you are a passion flicks person, this is the book. So this is the book that that series was based on. And weird little known fact, if you are a mom of a toddler and you watch Bluey, Julia, who in this book, in the movies, is played by Chili, Bluey's mom. But that's just a little side trivia that just makes my head hurt a little bit. I gave this one 4 stars. I think it was good, but it's not the best in the series. But if you're looking for a new dark academia series that you haven't read yet, I would pick up Gabriel's Inferno as well. And next up are just some ones that are on my TBR that I am really excited to read. First one is One Moment Please. And now I don't know much about this one other than it has a surprise pregnancy, and I'm assuming that there's a doctor in it because the cover is a guy in half wearing scrubs with a stethoscope. So I'm gonna assume that somebody's a doctor. I'm assuming it's him, but it looks really good. I haven't heard much either way about it, but it is the middle of a series and I am that person who has to read the entire series. So that's why I haven't gotten to this one yet, because I don't have time to start that whole series, but it is definitely high up on my TBR for next year. Next up is Awkward. I think it's Awkward by Avery Flynn. And this one is a hockey romance actually too, with a surprise pregnancy. So why I have not read this one yet, I don't know. I am still firmly in my witchy Christmassy phase, so it's definitely on my TBR for 2024. And this one I actually hadn't heard about until I started researching for this video. It is called Baby Moon or Bust by Ava Hunter, and it looks so freaking adorable. And she gets pregnant on a one-night stand and she goes on her baby moon, and the baby daddy finds out and comes with her, and it looks so good and so hot. It's definitely on my TBR for next year. The next one is called Accidentally Ours by Erin Hawkins. Now this is book 3 in a series, so once again, that's why I haven't started reading it yet. Actually, book 1 caught my attention a while ago and has been on my TBR for a while. But I found out that book 3 has an accidental pregnancy, so that might just boost the series up higher in my TBR. Last one is another hockey romance, and it's called Sincerely the Puck Bunny by Maren Moore. I haven't read any Maren Moore, but I've heard very good things about her. So I'm very excited to try this. I love a hockey romance. I love a surprise pregnancy. It seems perfect to me. So those are all of the surprise pregnancy books. So some recommendations, some honorable mentions, and some of them that are on my TBR. Have you read any of them? Especially the ones on my TBR. Have you read any of them? What did you think? How high should I bump these up the TBR? Like, let me know in the comments below. And have you tried the Passion Flick series or read Gabriel's Inferno? Because I never hear anything about this series, and I feel like the Dark Academia girlies, if they haven't read this, they don't know what they're missing. I read this book when it first came out in like 2012 and I loved it. So yeah, if you've read this one and you're like me, then hit me up and let me know in the comments below. Have a good day. Bye.